made for the wind. Because the ice is so compressed, the molecular structure is able to absorb every light wave except blue. So it's the blue that kicks back to us, which means that on a gloomy, rainy day like this, don't be disturbed by the ice bumper cars. On a gloomy day like this, there's more blue light in the atmosphere, so the ice will look, and the glacial face will look even more blue to us than it would if it were sunny out. So one more reason to be grateful for the rain today, and the gloom. And you might remember from Lamplugh, but all of these big chunks of ice probably have only about 10 to maximum 20% of the ice showing above the water, which means that 80+% of the ice is actually underwater. And that's also kind of hard to comprehend until we might see a huge chunk of ice float up from underneath, or sometimes we'll see it flip and you see that just massive amount of ice that rotates up. It's wild to think that this ice was snow 500 years ago, multiple lifetimes before us. At least I think it's multiple lifetimes before you. Just kidding. Different the formations of ice in the water look. The one behind us has those striations in it, and then this one up here looks like a bunch of crystals, almost like quartz, all stuck together.
How old did you say this glacier was?
So the glacier itself has been here for tens of thousands of years. The last time that it was at where we crossed that bar, so that's the terminal moraine, this glacier kind of bulldozed its way through this area, and then once it reached the end of Tracy Arm, it started to recede and left this mound of kind of bulldozed earth at the end. So that was that tricky part that we had to get over this morning. They've done some carbon dating there, and they found that it was at that place probably 1,500 years ago. And it was actually during the last little ice age, which was the ice age that flooded ice through all of Glacier Bay National Park. During that time period, which was 1350 to about 1785, the ice was all the way up at if you look at a map of Tracy Arm, it kind of, from where we are, it comes out like this, and then a little elbow drops down. And it was about at that elbow point in the late 1700s. So as temperatures fluctuate, it's been advancing and receding. But if you think of it as an ice river, the ice itself is constantly renewing. So it originates in that ice field, and then over the course of that 500 years, that ice will slow down and eventually tab off at whatever the face is. So it's similar to, you know, no river is flowing the same water all the time, but this river is still there. So glaciers function the same, where we're never seeing the same ice, even at the face here. It's constantly renewed at the source. And actually, calving doesn't necessarily indicate recession. It could be calving a ton, it could be moving a bunch of ice, but if the accumulation of the ice at the ice field is more than what's breaking off at the face, then it will continue to advance. So we might see calving and be like, oh no, this is really terrible, but actually what is causing the recession is that there's less snowfall that's not melting at the origin. So it's accumulating less and calving off without equal accumulation. had a